Hello everyone, Gold here. Just wanted to put a video together, an update to my SBR progress. In the mail today I got the gas block that I've been waiting for from Arrms, their micro P. This is the non-adjustable version. They do have an adjustable one that has 5 different settings, but I chose to go with the non-adjustable in this case because of I don't know, a couple of reasons. One, I was most concerned about the fact that this was a 7.5-inch barrel, and even though that the rifle would not be using a suppressor anytime soon, the length of the barrel predisposes the dwell time to a large incidence of, or potential incidence of, overgassing. So I was concerned at that point whether or not I should go with an adjustable block. And then I came across a video of an individual that had this, or just got this particular model in, and he was running it on a, I believe it was a 10.5 or 11.5-inch barrel, and I still was a little bit leery because that's still 4 inches longer than the barrel I'm intending to use this on. But what sold me on it was the fact that he also did a shooting sequence with his barrel suppressed, and this gas block functioned flawlessly, even though he installed it incorrectly, I might add. It functioned flawlessly, and as I watched the shooting sequence, I could see that the brass was being ejected properly. I didn't see any indications of bolt bounce or overgassing. Everything fed properly. So I figured that, given the fact that he could run an 11-inch barrel with a suppressor on it, definitely would put this in the same field as an unsuppressed 7.5. Also, unlike Superlative Arms, my questions to Arrms were almost immediately answered, or I should say within 24 hours they were answered. And the specific questions that I posed to them with regard to my setup, they said was fine. So this is the Arrms Micro P gas block right there, and this is the drive rod that I had it already in stock, so it works out pretty good. In full disclosure, the weight of the Micro P shocked me a little bit. It's actually quite a bit heavier than the Superlative Arms block. Let's just take a quick look at that. The Superlative Arms, I'm going to leave the drive rods in as if they would be ready for installation. So this is the one I took off my SBR, and it comes in, let's see, 3.25 ounces. And the new Arrms block unfortunately comes in at 4.86 ounces. So I'm picking up over an ounce on this. So I'm just going to have to deal with that. It's not that bad of a increase, so I'm not looking forward to any kind of negative impact on as far as that goes. The other area that is going to be a little more difficult with the Arrms system is the fact that the block, the way this system is set up, the block is mounted and the drive rod mounts to the gas block at the front. Once this is installed in the rifle, you lose the ability to access the gas block and drive rod for cleaning purposes without removing it from the rifle itself. Whereas the Superlative Arrms system, you can access the gas piston by unscrewing the block from, or the piston from the block, and the drive rod slides out from the back. So while this sounds like a Superlative Arrms commercial, it's, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. I was totally sold on Superlative Arrms. They are, in fact, in a lot of respects, far in advance of Arrms at this point. The thing that got me away from Superlative Arrms was the horrid customer service and support that company has for its customers. And to me, that is paramount in anything, whether it's firearms or anything that you spend your hard-earned money on. It's got to be worth something to them, and if it isn't, then why should it be worth anything to you? I mean, if they don't care enough about their product to provide a decent support system, then I'll look for something else. So I'm just going to show you real quick how this all goes together. Oh, and the other advantage that Superlative Arrms has over Arrms is the wider selection of handguards that you can use for this system. With Arrms, the drive rod spring is at the front of the drive rod, whereas with Superlative Arrms, the drive rod spring is inside. It's inside the block. So this front of the drive rod doesn't have to be subject to any specific distance requirements because there's no spring in the front, whereas you'll see why this is a factor with Arrms. So with the Arrms system, you'll see there's a bushing that sits at the front of the drive rod spring, and you have your drive rod spring mounted outside of the block. So where this becomes an issue is that the drive rod has to, get this focus here, the drive rod has to ride through an opening in your barrel nut going into the bushing area of the upper receiver. So this space right here is governing where this bushing is going to eventually sit on the drive once it's installed. So let's see if we can get this to play nice. Okay, so now we have the drive rod bushing butting up against the barrel nut, which is a mil-spec barrel nut, and therefore that is providing the distance for the spring tension. Now this is where this other individual went off base with his installation video, and that in his video he just takes this gas block and push it all the way to the barrel shoulder and tightens it down. And like I said, it functioned flawlessly that way, which speaks to the durability and build quality of Adam's Arms block and system. But I even left a comment saying that it probably would eventually lead to some failures in the future, because in the Adam's Arms instructions it does say to leave a 25 thousandths gap between the shoulder and the block. So you close this down to 25 thousandths and then you tighten your screws. Pretty straightforward. I'm not going to finish this installation on camera, so you guys don't have to watch me fiddle with my rattle hands. And so I thought I would show you what a properly mounted Adam's Arms Micro P gas block would look like. As you can see, we've got the 25 thousandths gap between the gas block and the shoulder of the barrel, and you've got your drive rod spring and bushing butted up against the mil-spec barrel nut entering the upper receiver. That's how it should be. In choosing the gas block, or if you are ever gravitating towards a piston system, you want to look at the things, the advantages, disadvantages of what you are looking for in your rifle. For me, the fact that Adam's Arms has been around a lot longer than Superlative Arms, the fact that they do all their own machining, the fact that they actually answer their customers' questions and concerns. That was my decision point. Taking nothing away from the advancements that Superlative Arms provides with their adjustment points on the gas piston, the bleed-off system. As I mentioned earlier in other videos, the bleed-off system, you have restrictive and bleed-off modes. These are things that you don't see in almost any other piston system these days. So it's a shame that they couldn't put the whole package together, because I definitely would have them on all my rifles. And as it is, I just sold one of my pistons, Superlative Arms, the other day, and we'll continue to reevaluate what I want to do with the others. So that's the latest on that, and also I'll be coming up shortly. I just got this in the mail today. It was a good day in the mail today, by the way. I got this in the mail, and for all of you that are new to this, this is a Polymer 80 lower kit. This is actually the 308 lower kit, and I'm going to be doing a comparison video between Polymer 80 and James Madison Tactical's kit. I've had the JMT kit for over a month now, and I find that there were some negative qualities to their kit, and I'm going to try to point out some of those with respect to how it stands up to the Polymer kit. So that'll be coming up shortly too. Anyway, I know this wasn't a very entertaining video, but I wanted to get it out so that I could finish installing the piston on the SBR and put that to bed. Anyway, you guys have fun, be safe. Desert Gold out.